In the early morning of September 9, 1943, the day after Italy's armistice in World War II was announced to the armed forces, Battleship Roma, deployed as the flagship of Admiral Carlo Bergamini, got underway with a group of ships. It was not a heroic sortie. Under the armistice terms, 3 battleships, several cruisers, and multiple destroyers were to sail to an Allied port in Malta for their surrender. Roma was the 3rd Littorio-class battleship and a source of pride for the Italian Navy, boasting 381mm main guns and enhanced AA armament. For better seaworthiness, her forend was redesigned, with the foredeck receiving a noticeable rise so that when the ship sailed at high speed, it seemed as if she was nosing up. Roma hadn't seen combat due to the Italian Navy's dire lack of the necessary fuel to perform sea operations. For that reason, the moment Roma was commissioned into the Regia Marina in 1942, she served as a floating anti-aircraft battery. She repelled Allied air raids for more than a year, suffering damage twice by airstrikes. By mid-1943, the battleship had been repaired and was back in service, still a formidable force. For that reason, the transfer of the ship to the Allies was not acceptable at all to German High Command, so they made plans to either seize or destroy the entire Italian fleet. The Italian group lacked air support, and a German reconnaissance aircraft was able to follow the squadron the entire morning, so the Germans were fully aware of its composition, course, and speed. At noon, 11 long-range bombers, equipped with a new superweapon, Fritz X radio-guided glide air bombs, reached the ships. The flagship hoisted the signal, "Prepare to fire anti-aircraft guns." However, the aircraft remained at a high altitude, beyond the effective reach of ship-based AA guns. Moreover, they didn't take any hostile actions. At some point, crew on the Italian ships mistook them as air support dispatched by the Allies. When red glowing flares, Fritz X tracers as seen from below, broke away from the bombers, they were deemed as identification or greeting signals. However, as soon as the first explosion tore through the air near cruiser Ingegno di Savoia, the Italian ships brought to bear heavy AA fire and employed zigzag maneuvers. The next bomb exploded near the battleship Italia. Then it was Roma's turn. The first Fritz X bomb pierced the ship's hull and exploded under the bottom, causing flooding in the aft engine and boiler rooms. Roma's speed plummeted. The second bomb reached several decks, causing her number 2 magazine to detonate. An explosion of tremendous power threw a main battery turret out into the sea, and a 500-meter smoke plume towered above the battleship. In a mere matter of minutes, Roma broke into 2 pieces and sank, taking the lives of 1,200 crewmen with her. Among them were Admiral Carlo Bergamini, the head of his staff and the ship commander. Debris of the sunken battleship was discovered almost 70 years later, on June 17, 2012, with the aid of a remotely controlled deep-water device. Now, Roma returns to the seas of World of Warships, bearing a permanent camouflage that immortalizes the damage she sustained during her last battle.